Howdy, folks. Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's late Friday and we decided to do the show right after the Global Series in Stockholm. Yesterday it was Detroit and Ottawa. I thought it was a little unfair that, they're having Detroit play back-to-back games and Minnesota played back-to-back games too. So
they were there for like 3 or 4 days, though.
Yeah, but still, I thought it was just a little weird. But we'll start with a pre-show, then we'll go into the Global Series. Go ahead, Russ.
All right. Well, as everybody is aware, the Jets will play the Bills this Sunday.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Well, I think you have a Bills hat somewhere. I'm not sure.
Nope.
You don't. You don't own a Bills hat. That's very telling.
No.
Anyhow, but the weird thing right now in football is there's a lot of injuries to quarterbacks, and a lot of them in the AFC. Joe Burrow's out. Deshaun Watson's out. They're out for the year. And so now you kind of wonder what is going to happen with the Jets and the Bills, because like the Bills were thought to be like a powerhouse team, and they've had some hiccups. The Jets obviously had the Rodgers situation, and now they're trying to stay alive until he comes back mid-December. So, right now there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Do you really believe he's coming back in mid-December?
Yeah, because I'm watching him when before the game starts and people are videoing him, and he's working on his footwork and he's throwing 50 yards in the air. So he's not doing that if he thinks he's just gonna, goof around the rest of the season. Here's the thing. He went to a guy, right, that specifically said that the way I do this procedure for an Achilles, you could get back a little faster than normal. And then he's been basically, when he's not with the Jets the 1 day a week, he's been rehabbing 5 hours a day. So I believe it. And I think it's an interesting thing. The Jets are maybe about to get Robbie Anderson back too, who I used to really like as a deep threat, because some of their other receivers have petered out, and I guess.
Well, who was the guy that? I was going to say, who the guy that retired?
Corey Davis retired. He said he was going to unretire, but it hasn't happened. So Anderson would add some nice speed. It won't happen for the Buffalo game, but it would be after that. So we'll see. I mean, I think that game's going to be interesting on Sunday. I could see either team winning. I think it's going to be close. I think this is going to be a field goal game. I do.
Yeah. Again, I don't think I'm going to watch it.
You're going to watch it. You're such a liar.
No, I'm not. I'm not lying.
You'll have your tray of pizza.
No, I will not.
$25, $30 pizza.
No.
These are your habits.
Nope. Sorry. No. I mean, like I said, if the movie Napoleon had opened on this Friday, I would have gone to see that movie. I'm going to see if there are any other.
$4.25? No, you wouldn't have.
Yes, I would. I'm telling you right now. I am not lying.
Somebody put a thumbs down. We need a thumbs down instead of a thumbs up.
I don't think there is. All there is like, big fireworks explode, which I still have not seen since. I would love to, because all I've seen is these stupid thumbs ups.
Yeah.
But no, all I know is that I like the way the AFC is going right now. I mean, Watson's got a broken shoulder. He's out for the year. And a massage will not help, folks. Burrow, I don't know what's going on with Burrow, but I don't think this is something that he's going to recover from in a week. I mean,
he was already.
He couldn't even grab the ball.
Yeah, so, actually, there's an NFL investigation now because.
Oh, please. Yeah, that
he was wearing a device walking into the stadium. Like they saw him coming off the plane with that. So,
yeah. And I mean, Carissa Thompson thought he was going to get it amputated. So there you go.
Be nice.
Oh, well, hey, she opened herself up. I says, I have not seen a bigger self-inflicted wound to somebody's career since Jeremy Roenick went on. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. But and the Bills really have been wounded by everything but the quarterback being injured. I mean, with Milano, who's not.
It's been mostly coaching and injuries.
Well, I mean, okay, I think the injuries, but I mean, no, I haven't heard that Burrow's out for the season.
No, we haven't heard that yet either. But we're surmising he's not playing.
Yeah. And then Mark Andrews, the All-Pro tight end for Baltimore, he's out. you've got. I love this stat. The Bills have a point differential of plus 75, which it doesn't really mean anything. It means the games that they win, they blow people out, and the close games they choke.
Right.
Which is what and turn over the ball. Pittsburgh, who is I think 6-3, their point differential is minus 25, and they're 6-3. So again, the NFL sucks. I hate the way the league is.
There's a lot of parity, man.
It's parity, and it's also I think I said, I think that the officiating in this game now is keep the game close, no matter if the call is right or the call is wrong. I saw calls in that game yesterday that were so patently absurd that they shouldn't have been called, but they went. But the thing was, once Burrow went out, it was impossible to keep that game close.
Right.
But anyway, all right, let's start the show. Hello, Hockey World. Today is Friday, November 17th, 2023.
I'm Russ Cohen from Sportsology.
And I'm Michael Lagello, and this is the HockeyBuzzcast here on HockeyBuzz.com. And Rick, if that quote is right, and then Cincinnati,
we figured he probably is.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it based on the way he reacted. I mean, he was in a lot of pain throwing that ball. So but anyway, let's talk hockey here, and let's start with the game today. It's first of all, okay. I mean, I know we have afternoon games on weekends. We have afternoon game, on Saturdays and Sundays, and NBC, ABC, whatever channel. But it was sort of weird, having an afternoon game, coming from Europe, and on yesterday was on a Thursday, today on a Friday. Ottawa, Detroit yesterday, Toronto, Detroit today. It's clearly a big deal there, Russ. I'm not minimizing that in that respect. I just don't know. I think you said it about these games counting. It's like preseason is one thing, but having like regular season games and having this carve out of, like with Toronto, it's a 2-week carve out of their schedule. It's like, they went over, they spent 4 or 5 days, they're playing 2 games in 3 nights, and they're coming back, and then they're not playing until Black Friday. It's really bizarre.
It is. Look, the fans clearly liked it. Maybe William Nylander's grandmother liked it. We're not sure. That was funny when Gord said that after he scored. It was a good joke. But, it means a lot to them, but I don't know if it would mean any more if it wasn't regular season. And I'm not sure they should put the weight of the regular season on this. Like you said, they created a back-to-back where it probably didn't need to exist. And, it's a tough spot. Like, even this game didn't really get rolling until the third period.
Right. It got rolling for Detroit a little earlier than that.
A little earlier.
Toronto looked like they were sleeping in the first class of their transatlantic flight. Until the third period, and then all of a sudden they woke up. I'll just say, obviously, like we've covered the Nylander territory on Off the Post and on this show, and it's like, I'm not surprised. He's motivated. This is a money run. This is I've always said he's a talented player. My problem has been like the whole Dr. Nylander, Mr. Willie thing. It's like when he applies himself, he's one of the most talented players in the league, and he's doing that. He's got points in all 16 games. They played. Hold on a second. I'll tell you right now. Their record now. Live stuff here. The record is 9-5-2. Yeah, he's scored a point in every game. So I'm not surprised that he's able to do this. What's infuriating is that when he doesn't do it, and which before this year has been in long stretches or in the playoffs, and people, it's like revision.
Playoffs have been good now the playoffs were really good last year.
And
he was a point a game the year before. Like, what else do you want him to do?
Well, no, but there have been playoffs where he's been terrible. No,
that's going back to 2020.
Right. The recent ones, he's been better, and that, I give him full credit for that. He was one of the main reasons why they beat Tampa. They needed offense from their core people, and they got it. But
I got a couple things on Nylander though.
Go ahead.
So the first one is everybody should go to NHLDraftBuzz.com. It's my new website, and I have an interview with William Nylander from the 2014 draft. But the only reason I bring that up is because on the broadcast, Gord Miller said that it was kind of controversial that the Leafs drafted him, and I didn't believe that back then. He was a star in the World Juniors. Like he had a dad who played. I don't remember that being a bad pick. I liked the pick, and that's why I made sure we videotaped him back then because I thought he might be a star.
No, I think what Gord is talking about is it was controversial for Toronto because they didn't take the guy that Don Cherry talked about, which was Nick Ritchie.
Okay. That would have been stupidity. So, like,
right, but that would have been
all that controversial. Like, Don Cherry's not a prospect guy.
No.
I would have told you Nylander. I would have been like Nick Ritchie. No, I would. Nick Ritchie was light, but no, I mean,
when you're talking about an Ontario kid.
I know, but then you're going back to the Tyler Biggs days. Like,
they were
past that at that point.
Well, I mean, Dave Nonis was still there. Dave Nonis was the GM.
The game changed, where guys like Nylander were starting to be the guys that you wanted to draft.
It's like, okay, Nick Ehlers was picked after him, Ritchie, Kevin Fiala, Brendan Perlini. Perlini
was actually a big name in that draft because he was big. He had a long reach. He was a goal scorer. So, and Honka, I had Honka probably right around that spot or even a little higher. I was very high on Julius Honka because I thought he'd be a really good skating offensive defenseman. It didn't happen.
Well, it's funny because a lot of controversy has come up over the last few weeks about that draft in regards to Vancouver because apparently Trevor Linden went on Vancouver radio and basically said that Jim Benning, not just this draft, but the 2015 draft, the Elias Pettersson draft, because he basically said that Benning had to be dragged kicking and screaming to take Pettersson, that he wanted to take somebody else. And that, the fact that – what's that?
Who was the one who broke this news?
Trevor Linden was on Vancouver radio. Yeah, Linden said – and, of course, I think Linden was part of the organization at that
point. Linden and Benning have a thing where they –
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like you don't know whether that's the truth or not. And, the fact that they took Jake Virtanen 6th overall and Jared McCann, who's turned out to be a pretty good player.
McCann's a really good goal scorer.
Right. But, he didn't turn out to be a good player. He didn't turn out to be a good player for Vancouver. But, okay, so let's get back to this game. Oh, okay. While Russ is talking on the phone, and he can hear me, I must take a minute to take a bow because I was proved right. And I just have to – all you people in the chat, and I will say this on Monday when Eck is back, all you people who said – oh, Justin Hall is a lot better of a defenseman. No. He's not a good defenseman. He's crap. He was overpaid by Detroit. I don't care if he was leading the NHL in plus minus. It was, 6 games into the season? And if you needed an illustration of that, watch the game-winning goal in which Tyler Bertuzzi wastes him, beats him to the puck, beats him to the front of the net and feeds John Tavares. Justin Hall, I called it pure art because to see his incompetence happen for the Leafs instead of against the Leafs filled my heart with joy.
Yeah, I'll say this. It was an interesting game in the sense that I still am not high on Detroit. Maybe they won't be in last, but they're not making the playoffs. They're 3-6-3 lately. This was a game where, Mike, the Leafs, I think in that third period decided, look, we're just going to try and set up some more scoring chances. We haven't gotten some real set up scoring chances like the past that eventually, it went in off a leg, right? And Tavares got credit for that, right? I don't think Tavares touched that puck, did he?
The game winner?
Yeah, the game winner.
No, they gave it to Tavares.
They gave it to him, but it went off of a defender.
If it was Bertuzzi, then
it was Bertuzzi pass. Yeah,
Bertuzzi pass. If that's the case, then then what I just said is even sweeter because the guy scored the game-winning goal, stealing it off Justin Hall's.
And that's the whole thing. It's basically, I just feel like the Leafs knew hey, look, what kind of game are we having here? We have better talent. Let's put it together. And they did. They put it together. Now, you could be mad as a Leafs fan that it took that long.
Yes, I mean,
if you're a Red Wings fan, you knew they weren't winning that game once the Leafs went ahead. You knew it.
Well, I mean, my concern watching this game and watching the 16 games that the Leafs have played is that you can't do what they continue to do going into the playoffs, which means falling behind by 2 goals, allowing a team, that kind of, like 5-3 lead Montreal, 4-1 lead Tampa. They come back 2-0 lead in Boston. They tied that game, got a point. The other 2 games, they came back and won in overtime. This game, they're down 2-0. They were comatose in the first 40 minutes, and they come back, and Nylander as an assist on Bertuzzi's goal, and then Nylander scores the tying goal, and then obviously Tavares scores the winner, unless it was off of a leg. But I mean, okay, maybe it's a statement on Detroit and their lack of quality. I think they're an okay team. I just, they played Alex Lyon. I don't know why they play Alex Lyon instead of Ville Husso unless he's hurt. And they played Reimer yesterday, so they couldn't play him back to back. But Toronto can't keep doing that. Another thing, and this is just nitpicky, but these things count. They lead the NHL. They played 16 games. They've had 6 too many men in the ice penalties in 16 games.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's not a lot. That's incompetence. That is
not incompetence. I'll tell you what it is. They're trying to cheat. They're trying to cheat to get back on the ice. It's incompetence once in a blue moon, but it tells me that they're doing more cheating with that and they're getting caught. And the league's calling it. That's what it tells me.
Okay, just an
Husso's at home for the birth of his child, Chris.
Okay. So that's why that's the reason.
Although he hasn't played great this year either.
No. One interesting thing, it was just a little nitpicky thing, and I was like, wait, something's off here. And it was the fact that the Leafs were wearing blue helmets with the white jerseys. And apparently the NHL is allowing teams to do that. So now you can wear – now as long as the home team is not wearing white, like the home team is – or the road team is always wearing the white jersey. As long as the home team is not wearing a white helmet, you can, the road team can wear an opposed. So, I mean, it was odd. I don't remember the Leafs ever wearing a blue helmet with a white jersey and a white helmet with blue jersey. I don't know. I haven't seen that yet.
I actually don't care.
It was interesting. I like these little. Yeah. Okay. Couple things. We're not going to do a long show here. The Patrick Kane stuff is heating up.
Is it?
Well, it sounds like it is, Russ, because everybody's talking about it, and it sounds like it's
just because everybody's talking about it. It doesn't mean.
Well, no. Okay. Apparently he was having talks with a number of teams at the GM's meetings in Toronto.
Okay.
It sounds like he is, ready to. I don't know if he's ready to play. But he's in shape. He's. He thinks he's ready to play. I'm sure there'll be a ramp up with whoever he signs with, but I still don't know. We talked about this with Ted Starkey. If it's a 1-year deal, I think it's going to be a veteran minimum with incentives, and if it's a long-term deal, like 2 or 3 years, then there's a better chance that he signs with a team like a Anaheim or a Buffalo than it is a Florida or Dallas or Toronto. I think if he signs with a contender, it's going to be on a 1-year deal for cheap. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to sign him.
Maybe. We'll see. Somebody might trade somebody just, for a draft pick just to make the space for him. So I think it's going to be a matter of, what he's trying to do here. But I see people putting that picture of Patrick Kane from his the Pierre Turgeon 92. I think it's
him against the glass. Yeah.
I think it's a 92 Fleer card. Mm-hmm. I had that, and it's funny with him up against the glass. I don't think he's going to Buffalo. That would surprise me if he went to Buffalo. I really don't know where he's going to go at the moment, but I also don't think he's going to be the same Patrick Kane. Now, he'll be better than last year because anything's better than last year.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I'm not saying he's going to be the same Patrick Kane. That would be ridiculous. But I do think he can be an effective player. That's why I think he's not going to – he can't go someplace and sign for $5 million. He's not that player anymore.
Not for 5, but he can get 3 or 4. I mean, but it depends. I mean, like you said, it is going to depend on where he goes. I don't have a great sense in actually where he's going to end up. I really don't. I do think the Dallas Stars maybe makes the most sense, but I think he's probably not happy that the Rangers, weren't in on him. And after that, he's not going to play for the Islanders. I'm pretty sure of that.
No.
And so Devils, I don't think he's playing for the Devils. Do you?
It's possible. I mean, okay, could the prospect of him playing on the left wing or right wing with Jack Hughes be intriguing to him? Yeah, what the hell? I mean, that would be phenomenal.
Sure, I guess it would be intriguing, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem like a guy that wants to play for that team. And I don't think.
I mean, could he go to Pittsburgh? Could he go to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think he would go to Pittsburgh before he would go to the Devils. And I think it's just simply because they have more winners on that team. I just don't think the Devils are proven enough for Kane. That's the whole thing.
I mean, that would be like, Carlson, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and now Kane. If you think about it,
that would be a scary proposition.
Scary. Yeah. I mean, if he's got anything left, the prospect of him either playing with because, okay, Kane is a higher functioning Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of hockey IQ, Kessel had a lot of natural ability, but Kane, in terms of hockey IQ, and I don't know about skill now. I mean, I think he's got more skill now than Kessel because Kessel's probably done. Nobody signed him yet. But yeah, no, that would be intriguing. And I don't know if he wants to go out west. I would think he would want to stay east because his family he's either still living in Chicago. I know he was rehabbing in Toronto. And I think Toronto is still a possibility, but it would have to be on that low scale on that. And they, they're looking to upgrade their defense. When you're playing Simon Benoit and William Lagesson, you have to upgrade your defense.
Yeah, there's no question. It has to get upgraded. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Canes, is Kessel done? No, I don't think Kessel's done, but I think a team would have to go down like a couple of starters to kind of call him now. He's not on the next guy in the league when you're looking for a player list.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Okay, a couple things. The Florida Panthers are getting back both Aaron Ekblad and Brandon Montour. They're both activated off of long-term injury. I'm assuming if they're them being activated that they're probably going to play in the next game. Otherwise, you wouldn't have activated them.
Right.
But right now, Florida currently is 1 point ahead of Toronto, 10-5-1, second place in the Atlantic, 5 points behind the Bruins. They survived, Russ. They survived without Montour and with Ekblad. Ekman Larson.
They're used to surviving, though, losing players, though, right? Like, this is 2 years in a row that it's happened. I'm impressed with that. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, right now, Sam Reinhart's in the top, top 3 or 4 in scoring? He's got 24 points.
Sam Reinhart, he used to play for somebody.
Yeah, I think so. Team that wore blue and gold. I can't remember what that was. Yeah. But defensively, Ekman Larson, solid, nothing great. Kulikov, Gustav Forsling, Nico Mikkola. They just, they didn't get a ton out of them, but they got enough. So, yeah, I give them a lot of credit.
I do too. Who knows? Maybe they're going to be this surprise team that all of a sudden does win the cup because they're able to weather all this. I don't know, but I give them credit. They are feisty.
The Edmonton Oilers have won 3 games in a row, so everybody's ready to resume their pick of them as the Stanley Cup favorite. Give me a break.
I mean, I'm still not going to take them away from being in the conference final. Why? Why do you think they all of a sudden they can't make the playoffs?
As I said at the beginning of the season, I think that they'll barely sneak in the playoffs, and
that's all they have to do, right?
They're just a flawed team. They're not good. They're not good enough to win a Stanley Cup. I don't think they're good enough to win a Western Conference.
I think you should be careful about this take because I think
it's a take. It's the beginning of the year. I haven't changed it.
No, but you had extra glee when things were looking bad, and
of course I did because it proved me right.
Well, it's not gonna. It may not prove you right in the end. No, I'm not picking them to win the cup, and I never did. But I do think they can make it to the conference final, and there's a chance they could make it to the cup if they got their stuff together. I think there's a chance, and I think that you have to sort of be careful about that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be careful, but I haven't changed my pick. It's like
they could win 10 in a row, and you would have the same awful take.
Well, first of all, it's not awful, and I believe that if you make a prediction, you stick with it.
I don't disagree with you on that, but like, if you will never say they're playing well, even if they're playing well.
No. Well, of course I would.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, but they're not playing well. We'll take a couple questions in the chat before we end the show. The funny thing is, right now, if you're talking about dysfunctional teams, the Columbus Blue Jackets might be up there.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of when the Avs had the Patrick Roy situation. They get rid of Patrick Roy. Bednar is thrown in there in that first year. Bednar couldn't do anything, and it kind of seems like Vincent's having the same trouble.
Well, okay, Kent Johnson benched. Now Line and Goudreau in the third period of a game benched. They send Emil Bemstrom down to the place him on waivers, didn't get claimed, send him to the minors. I mean, right now it's like, has anything over the last 3 months, has anything gone right with Columbus from Babcock to this?
No, it doesn't seem great. And, Johnson's more than a point a game in the AHL. So clearly he's an NHLer. We don't know what they asked him to work on, but nobody's doing anything on that team. And so there's problems, and I don't know what's going to cure it, but this seems like this is a doomed year for them.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of expectations with them, and right now it's like it seems like you look at the standings, and we'll look at the East just quickly here. Boston's a machine. Florida has played really well in spite of not having half their defense. Toronto started slow, and we've covered the concerns of them, but they're 9-5-2. The Rangers are great, and they've weathered all these injuries, and they've without Fox, now without both their goaltenders. I think I saw that they're getting Shesterkin back,
and Heedle's out too. So Washington's a complete surprise. I mean, they struggled at the beginning of the year. Carolina is a big disappointment. Yes.
And I don't know where things are going there, but right now, I mean, it doesn't, they're giving up a ton of goals. They've given up 52 goals in 16 games. I mean, that's over 3 goals a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a lot.
For a team that purportedly has the best defensive core in the league, and I don't think that's, blowing smoke. It's really surprising.
There's something missing. Although, that game against the Flyers, Coach Chekhov played fine. I mean, it was a 3-1 loss.
But they're missing Pesci.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'll grant that.
Something's a little off with them. I can't disagree with you on that.
Yeah. All right. Let's take some questions here. Esmer has one. Do you think this will be Lou's last year as Isles GM? I don't, because he'll go. I think Lou's going to die in the GM chair. I think he's going to. And I'm not saying that cruel, wickedly.
No, you just mean that he'll just be there until he's not.
Yeah, he's as long as as long as he's coherent, he's got enough respect in the league that nobody's going to, I think he's going to keep his job. Now,
Lane Lambert is in trouble.
Yes. And Elliot Friedman was reporting that they're looking to add a scorer. And he does believe, and this is the thing that makes no sense. They can't score any goals or can't score enough goals. So yeah, they're looking for a scorer, but gee, what are they also looking at? Well, they hear about the Calgary defensemen, Zadorov and Tanev, and they're in on that. Are you kidding me? That's all you have are one-dimensional defensemen.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in on that.
Geez, you're gonna trade like Oliver Wahlstrom to get Chris Tanev so you can score less goals? It boggles the mind. Terry, is there any team right now in the NHL that has cap room and the assets to bail out some other team with cap room? Okay, first of all, why would they do that? They would have to get overpaid. Right. If you look at Cap Friendly, and this will give you an accurate indicator of, okay, so right now the Chicago Blackhawks have $13 million in cap space. At the deadline, when it's like maybe 15, 20 games left in the season, they're going to weaponize that cap space. They're going to use that to be the third team in deals.
Follow up some contracts.
Right, and they'll accumulate some draft picks, which is the same thing for Kyle Davidson to do.
Yes.
Buffalo, they've got $9 million in cap space. I may be out on a limb here. I think it's do or die for the Sabres. I think they need to make the playoffs this year. But
they're going to buy.
They're gonna buy. So I don't think they're gonna weapon. Now the thing is, they can create even more cap space by trading a guy like Victor Olofsson. But right now, with Tage Thompson out, they're not going to trade Olofsson.
Yeah.
You would think that if the Islanders were looking for a scorer, that a guy like Olofsson, who scored 28 goals last year, would be a good addition. But the problem is now Buffalo probably doesn't want to trade him until Thompson and Jack Quinn get back.
Right.
Anaheim has $9 million in cap space. They're a young team. If they stay in it into January, they might want to add. They want to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So right now, I think there's two teams, Nashville being one of them, because Barry Trotz seems to be operating in a sort of different way, and he's got Poyle there helping him. So as an advisor, so they could be a team that could be a conduit. That could be a team that will move one player through and save 25%. But it's all going to be what they can get. If they're looking for draft picks, if they're looking for prospects, that's what you do when you have that cap space. Okay. Let's see here. Two or three more. Why is the NHL okay sending players to Sweden but not reps to in-person draft? Well, you heard our arguments.
One is nothing to do with the other, but
yeah. I mean, they're in their minds they're expanding the game. Sweden, is I mean, what are they responsible for? 15% of the players in the league?
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, It's growing. I heard Jeff and Elliott talking about that the Global Series next year might go to Germany, and with Draisaitl and Stützle and Paterka. I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people were sort of laughing at Germany, and now Germany, Switzerland, Finland.
Well, the Flyers had a German defenseman. Was it Vinny? Was it Vinny something? I can't remember. But
there was Seidenberg, Dennis Seidenberg.
Dennis Seidenberg, thank you.
Yeah,
he was the guy.
Yeah, and he was important for the Bruins in 2011. So, what are Bettman's plans for European? I don't think there is plans for.
Oh, there's no plans for Europe. This is just make money in the season,
right? Make
extra money.
All right. Vepsis, question for Mike and Randy. Okay. Well, it'll be tough for Randy to help. Randy will have to respond.
Randy's no longer on the show. Thank you.
What it takes from the Leafs to get Chris Tanev from Calgary?
I mean, they could probably get Tanev for a second-round pick.
Yeah, but And again, Elliot and Jeff were talking about this because a lot of people are talking about Zadorov and Tanev, and there are some teams that are talking to Calgary about both Zadorov and Tanev.
Right, and they might do that.
And also with Treliving and his relationship with those defensemen, he might be trying to sign them to extensions. So,
well, they can't. I don't know. Can the Leafs take on 2 defensemen and sign them to extensions? I don't know about that.
Well, the extensions would be starting next year.
I know, but I mean, they still
they have money. They have a lot of money coming off the book.
Do.
So,
I still think that's a smart thing. I'm very cautious about the Brad Treliving trades. You can go looking, and I don't know what percentage ownership made him do what he did in Calgary, but he made some bad trades.
Well, I mean, the Huberdeau deal was forced on him. I mean, basically, Kachuk, him not trading Goudreau was not good. I mean, everybody knew that Goudreau was going to walk away, but he was, at that point, they were one of the best teams in the West, and they thought they had a chance to win a Stanley Cup. I mean, again, if it was me, I would have traded William Nylander before the season because I don't think he's signing in Toronto, and if he does, he's going to be paying him over $10 million, and he's not worth it. He's not. I don't care what he does this year. He is making a case for $10 million a year. It's not a case. If Toronto will rue the day that they sign him to a $10 million contract. But I think the deal that he made, the Lindholm deal, the Hannafin deal with Carolina, I think is a pretty good deal.
No, those are pretty good deals.
Now people point out, well, he included a prospect named Adam Fox. Adam Fox was never going to
sign with them. I don't count that. But again, I go back Uyghur signing. I mean, there's 3 or 4 signings that are brutal.
Right, and those I think were forced on him because
maybe it's more of the signings than the trades.
Yes. Let's see. Any more questions? Germany has seen an increase of interest in hockey. Yep. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, just one last note. The Leafs are undefeated since they benched Ryan Reeves.
It's not shocking. I mean,
yep. Just letting that hang out there, folks. Okay. I don't know, Michael Cohen came in there. All right. We'll be back on Monday with another.
I just got the ankle monitor off. Okay.
Oh, yeah. There you go. We'll be back on Monday with another edition of the Hockey Buzzcast. For Russ Cohen, I'm Michael Agello. Thank you for watching. And remember, without the buzz, it's just hockey.